Hello dear friends and subscribers, this is your host Ram welcoming you on a Sunday to the Cricket Happening Show. And this particular Cricket Happening Show, this particular Cricket Happening Show is the first day's play of the Test series which started today between New Zealand and West Indies, which got played at Jamaica and Kingston. And you would have all seen my preview yesterday where I said this was a very significant test for one particular person, and he was Chris Gayle, who was playing his 100th test. Today he was presented a memento by Brendan McCullum, the New Zealand captain. Well, it all started with New Zealand actually winning the toss, but contrary to expectations, yesterday in my preview I had said that the pace bowling is something that they would concentrate on, but I thought the both teams have probably read the pitch better, and they have definitely I am only giving an opinion, but when I was just going by the history of Sabina Park in Kingston in Jamaica, but yes, I was definitely proved wrong today, because what New Zealand and West Indies did is they instead of having a pace into their attack, they started strengthening it with the spin. So there was a debut today as far as New Zealand were concerned. It was Mark Craig, the right-arm off-spinner, 27-year-old New Zealand off-spinner, making his test debut today. And as far as West Indies were concerned, well, they had Suleiman Ben and also Shane Shillingford. But stumps on day one, New Zealand have they have done a very good job here to be really sitting on a very pretty score at 240 for 2. Kane Willliamson continuing his magnificent form that he had when he was playing against India, continued it today by getting on to his 6th Test match 100. He was not out on 105 with 11 fours. It was a real grinding effort by Kane Willliamson, I thought. Now, one thing that I would like to say here, the pitch, as I said, even though there was a bit of movement, bit of bounce for the batsman, and that was precisely what Jerome Taylor exploited as I said, New Zealand won the toss and they elected to bat. And Jerome Taylor was the one who provided the breakthrough. He was bowling a probing line. He was keeping both the batsmen, Tom Latham and Fulton, into knots, in the sense he was really making them guessing. The ball was moving about, there was good bounce, and there was one ball which pitched from Jerome Taylor and it bounced, and it was a sort of a delivery that Fulton had to poke at it. He poked at it, and Dinesh Ramadhan behind the stumps made no mistake, and Fulton was walking back to the pavilion, caught Ramadhan, bowled Taylor for 1, and he scratched at the crease for 19 balls to score 1 run. The bowling was very tight. It was good to see Kane Roche also bowling pretty well. As I said, he's coming back. It was his comeback game in 1 year. Well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, yesterday I definitely missed on one big point, and that was to say that Dinesh Ramadhan of West Indies, the new captain, he was captaining West Indies for the first time in a test match, and that was happening today at Sabina Park, Kingston in Jamaica. So good luck to Dinesh Ramadhan. Well, as far as Tom Latham, and definitely I know for a fact that Kingston, Jamaica would have not been happy with the news when they saw that New Zealand won the toss and elected to bat, because they would have been probably praying to see Chris Gayle in full colours and in full action, but unfortunately that was not the case. Well, nevertheless, so Fulton was the first man who was dismissed, and after that there was, in fact, Jerome Taylor and Kane Roche, as I said, were bowling a very good line. The ball was not really coming out of the bat. The pitch was a bit slow, and what one was seeing is that the ball was really turning. In the first day itself, there were a lot of signs. Signs were evident of turn pretty early, and Tom Latham was playing in a very watchful manner. Kane Willliamson too, and it was pretty tough going for both the batsmen, as they had to really see off the bowlers, which they pretty much did it. After that, Dinesh Ramadhan actually sprung a real surprise by bringing Darren Bravo, because as you know, Jerome Taylor and Kane Roche were the bowlers who were actually getting the shine of the new ball by using the new ball. So the only way that Dinesh Ramadhan could do to get a change bowler, because West Indies had gone with lots of spinners in this particular game, and he had to really passed the ball to Darren Bravo, which was a real surprise. And Darren Bravo was bowling some sort of a military medium pace, I would say. And well, he gave away 2 runs, but that was only 1 over. But definitely, Dinesh Ramadhin wanted to try something different on his captaincy, and well, even though it didn't fetch a wicket, I thought that Darren Bravo bowled well, bowling 1 over for 2 runs, and after that he never bowled, just to see whether anything is there in the pitch for Bravo. I mean, this was his first over in international cricket. So both then the partnership slowly started building, and then Tom Latham slowly started opening up, playing some very good strokes. Now, as I said, the pitch was absolutely slow. I mean, it was very slow. The ball was not coming onto the bat. So the batsman had to actually wait for the ball to turn, and when the ball was turning, they were going to rock onto their back foot and stroke the ball through to the fence. And that was what. So a lot of pull shots being played. And as far as driving was concerned, driving was not so easy. But as and when there was an opportunity, Tom Latham and Kane Willliamson definitely didn't fail. And this was a partnership which suddenly started blossoming with some very good strokes being played by both the batsmen. And finally, we saw that this partnership went on to great lengths from a situation where New Zealand were 9 for 1 at one stage. The score reached 174, and it looked like probably Tom Latham and Kane Willliamson would be really taking it through the day. But that was the time that Shane Shillingford struck by getting a ball which Latham probably playing a bit too early, spooned the ball, and the ball went and rested in the hands of the bowler Shane Shillingford, who took the catch. So he was caught and bowled by Shillingford, but I thought Tom Latham definitely deserved a century, but unfortunately that was not the case. He had to walk back to the pavilion after making 83 with 10 boundaries. So that made the score 174 for 2, but this partnership was a very big partnership, and a very, very fitting partnership at that, and it came in a very, very timely manner, because if one more wicket and New Zealand would have been under some pressure. But as I said, Kane Willliamson and Latham really put their heads together and really got on and saw to it that New Zealand would be not suffering any further mishap, and they raised 165 valuable runs for the second wicket. And finally, so Latham was out for 83. And also, one more thing that I would like to say here, Tom Latham was getting his maiden half century. So congratulations to him on a very, very difficult wicket, I thought. Latham definitely played his part. And he also, I would say, like the New Zealand selectors today, decided to drop Hamish Rutherford, which probably I thought Hamish Rutherford, yesterday I was telling you in my preview that Hamish Rutherford and Fulton should be the openers. But I mean, the selectors, I thought that they had done their calculations pretty well, and Tom Latham definitely proved so with his batting. Now, as far as after that, it was Kane Willliamson joined in by Ross Taylor. Kane Willliamson, then the new ball was taken, and we saw that Kane Willliamson took his time, in the sense he was not really able to stroke the ball. There was some compact defense being shown by Kane Willliamson with his wonderful technique. And another thing that about Kane Willliamson is that Kane Willliamson didn't score his first boundary till 84 balls. He took 84 balls to score his first boundary. So such was the going, and such was the. And let's look at the spinners. Now we all know that Kane Willliamson is a very good user of the feet as far as spinners are concerned. It was really good to see Kane Willliamson really stroking the ball to perfection when the spinners were on, and he makes. I mean, he's such a classical player, Kane Willliamson, and now it is like Kane Willliamson is a person who has already cemented his place in the New Zealand cricket team, and why not? He looks to be going towards really great things as far as test matches are concerned in the future. So Kane Willliamson went on to make his sixth test century, and finally, and after that, as I said, once the new ball was taken, we saw that there was a sort of a lull in the proceedings, but Kane Willliamson, just towards the close of play, really surprised everybody by really carving Kemar Roach for 3 successive boundaries in a single over. And finally, Kane Willliamson ending with an unbeaten 105 with 11 fours. Ross Taylor was keeping him company, also playing in the right manner, and West Indies will be hoping that they could be able to that they would be hoping that they could get one of the wickets pretty early tomorrow morning, because as you know, Ross Taylor and Kane Willliamson are the ones who were in absolute peak form when India were touring New Zealand, and they amassed lots of runs. So this partnership to break would be very crucial. Yes, they definitely have Brendan McCullum, the New Zealand captain, slotted in to come next. And finally, at stumps on day one, New Zealand definitely putting up a good show here, recovering from an early loss of a wicket in the first day of the Test series, finishing at 240 for 2, with Williamson not out 105 with 11 fours, Ross Taylor not out 34 with 6 boundaries, and that was the final score at stumps on day one for New Zealand at Sabina Park in Kingston in Jamaica. The bowling figures, Jerome Taylor making a comeback to cricket after a pretty long gap. Probably 2009 was the last time that Jerome Taylor played. Bowled pretty, I thought he bowled splendidly. If you look at his figures, it was a really good reading, makes very good reading. 17 overs, 7 maidens, 22 runs and 1 wicket. Kemar Roach, I wouldn't say Kemar Roach was coming back to bowling for West Indies after a gap of 1 year, but I thought that he really bowled well. 17 overs, 4 maidens, none for 56. Darren Bravo, as I said, bowled that solitary over, his first over in international cricket, for 2 runs. Suleiman Ben, it was very good to see Suleiman Ben bowl. As you know, he's a very tall bowler, gets the ball from height, and it was very good to see Suleiman Ben was getting his armour going, the ball that goes in straight, and definitely he beat the bat of Kane Willliamson a couple of times. Tom Latham was also kept guessing, but Suleiman Ben definitely toiled hard, bowling 28 overs, 8 maidens, none for 75. Marlon Samuels bowled 5 overs, none for 13. And Shane Shillingford also coming back to the West Indies Test side after all the testing that was done for his bowling action, finished with 1 for 62, bowling 24 overs and 3 maidens. So as I said, New Zealand have definitely done well on the first day of this particular Test match at Sabina Park in Kingston. But the thing that I would like to talk about, I'm sure the spectators in Kingston, Jamaica would be disappointed because, you know, being a holiday crowd had definitely gathered at Kingston Sabina Park in Jamaica, and they would have loved to see their homegrown hero Chris Gayle in action on his 100th Test. So Chris Gayle is still there, so the suspense is still on as far as Chris Gayle is concerned. But I said New Zealand definitely on a slow pitch. I thought they really applied themselves after the early loss of the wicket, and finally finishing off at 240 for 2. Now, as I said, for West Indies tomorrow, the first thing that they would like to do, as I said, Kane Willliamson and Ross Taylor, if you allow them any free way, they can really hurt you, because they can really get this New Zealand. If Kane Willliamson and Ross Taylor could continue their peak form that they showed against India, I'm sure this New Zealand innings could, the first innings, they could put up a massive score of above 500, especially considering the fact that Brendan McCullum is slotted next in, and still they have some batting to come in the form of Jimmy Neesham, BJ Watling, the wicketkeeper. East Sodhi can bat, and then they have Tim Southee, Mark Craig, who's making his Test debut, and Trent Boult. So the first thing, the one good thing for in West Indies' favour today, as far as Sabina Park tomorrow is concerned, is the ball is fairly new. It has just been taken just before stumps. So definitely the new cherry, there would be some movement and some bounce available, and I'm sure the West Indies bowlers Jerome Taylor and Kemar Roach would like to exploit it pretty early in the morning and try to disturb this pair, which is already added. Looking at what it is already 66-run partnership right now for the third wicket, and they are doing pretty well. So it's very essential for them to pile up, get a quick wicket tomorrow in the morning, or else, as I said, Kane Willliamson and Ross Taylor could really take this New Zealand score to the New Zealand score will definitely swell, and one would be looking at a score of 500, and that would really mount the pressure on the home team, the West Indies. But as I said, the pitch is not easy. You can't play strokes with gay abandon on this. You'll have to really bide your time, because not only the slowness of the pitch, you also have the spinners bowling superbly, and we saw that each and every bowler turned the ball, whether it is Suleiman Ben, whether it is Shillingford, Marlon Samuels also turned the ball, and definitely there's a lot of turn available, and one only gets the feeling that if the ball is actually turning so much on the first day itself, let's imagine this, that West Indies will be the team which will be batting last on this particular pitch, and that's not going to be easy. Even though one would feel that, and look at it, when the pitch is turning, there is the leg spin is something which is very, very impossible, in the sense it makes it doubly difficult. And East Sodhi is the leg spinner for New Zealand, and the leg spinner can really get some real assistance from the cracks in the pitch, and also from the rough, and they could really be someone who could be really causing a lot of fear in the West Indies camp. But well, it's all early days. It's still early to say anything. One has to see how East Sodhi really bowls against the West Indians. We also have the Red Arm offie Mark Craig in the lineup, who is making his Test debut, which came as a real surprise for me. But looking at the nature of the pitch, how it has behaved, I thought both the teams have done their calculations pretty well, and they have taken the right decision. Now, one more thing that I would like to say here is that New Zealand, other than Mark Craig and East Sodhi, they also have another spinner in their ranks, and it's none other than Kane Willliamson himself, who is right now at the crease, not out of 105. He's also a good right-arm off spinner, and he could also be amongst the wicket. So it's a pretty interestingly placed. But as I said, the key tomorrow, if at all, New Zealand has to be restricted, and this partnership, the third wicket partnership, has to be broken pretty quickly tomorrow morning. And the best bet for the West Indies would be tomorrow morning. But one knows what is the capability, what is the application that will be shown by Kane Willliamson and Ross Taylor. But I think that will be a real battle tomorrow, so it will be interesting to see whether the bat wins over the ball or the ball wins over the bat tomorrow. Well, dear friends, fans, friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings, as I said, always I have been saying this, your contribution towards the cricket show has been phenomenal. It has been great. I have been really enjoying this wonderful experience with you, dear friends subscribers. I hope you all liked my first day report on the first test match of the test series between New Zealand and West Indies, which was played today at Sabina Park, Kingston in Jamaica. With this, I am going to conclude my Cricket Happening show for today, and see you all tomorrow. Until then, it's good night from Ram Studios. Thank you.